Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Not only have I been the owner of Mint Mobile for the last few years, I've also been a customer. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Not only have I been the owner of Mint Mobile for the last few years, I've also been a customer. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile, with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
I mean, I want you to think about your best friend. Like your best friend you tell everything to. Your best friend you feel safe with. Your best friend you're not going to feel judged or criticized by. Your best friend is this sacred relationship. Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. So there I am dancing, just like I always do. Anytime there's music, I am fully engulfed and embraced by by the rhythm, by the words, and it's on like Donkey Kong, like totally on like Donkey Kong. Well, what I didn't realize was the entire time my husband was checking me out. Like totally full on checking me out. And I wish I could tell you that I was the one who caught him checking me out, but I wasn't. A friend of mine had mentioned it to me, not while I was dancing. It was maybe a couple weeks after. And I remember her and I were just having a conversation. And she had asked me, what is the secret for a successful marriage? Like, what is your guys' secret? And I'm like, And I don't see my marriage the way other people see it, because obviously, you know, we're flawed in so many ways and we're not perfect. But it's interesting how other people look at us. And, you know, I asked her automatically, like, where's this coming from? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? And she was like, well, the other day I was at your house and you were inside and you were dancing, like full on dancing. I was outside, you know, her and her husband were outside, and her husband was talking to Willie, and Willie was barbecuing. And she goes, and I noticed like him just like totally get distracted from the conversation. He just stopped the conversation. And, you know, we kind of both looked at what he was looking at, and you were inside of the house dancing. And he was kind of swaying with you. It was as if he was dancing with you, but from afar. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, that's my baby. But it was just like, And she asked me, what's your secret? And I don't want to say it's a secret because it's not. I think it's quite obvious, but I think it's quite obvious because I'm a marriage therapist and I do this for a living, like every single hour of every single day, right? I'm in session with couples. But if I look back and if I even look at our previous arguments, it's not the exact go-to, but I will say it's what keeps us coming. I don't want to say coming back for more, but like it's what keeps us together. And I'm going to say it is friendship. And the reason why it's friendship is because I want you to think about your best friend. Like your best friend you tell everything to. Your best friend you feel safe with. Your best friend you're not going to feel judged or criticized by. Your best friend is this sacred relationship. That right there is the number one secret for a successful marriage, being the best of friends. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but if I'm being completely honest, it requires a great amount of effort, commitment, and love from both partners. And so I'm going to be going over, step by step, the 6 secrets that can help you build a strong and successful marriage. number one is absolutely being the best of friends. Having fun together, playing with each other, flirting with one another, like just this playful banter. I want you to think about, like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but whatever, you're listening to me. So, I mean, there's a little bit of crazy in you, but I want you to think about like how excited you get to be around your best friend. It's just you and your best friend, and you guys are going to just have a night out on the town, no kids. Like, how fun would that be? Like, what would you guys do? Like, what conversations would you guys have? What would you guys laugh about? What would make you literally pee your pants because you laughed so damn hard? What would be the topic? And I really want you to just think about it. Like, what is it? What is it? Like, that right there is what I want you guys all to have in your marriage. And I guess it's a secret. And one of the primary reasons why it might be a well-kept secret, it shouldn't be a secret, but one of the reasons why is because there's years and years of people saying the same thing. Communication is key. Communication is key. And don't get me wrong, communication is key. However, I wouldn't put it up at the top. I wouldn't put it out as the number one thing that keeps your marriage strong and successful. I would argue, and so would Gottman, who is also, it's a married couple. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the name of Gottman's? Like, why am I having a total brain fart right now? I'm totally looking it up right now. Julia and John. Oh my God, why couldn't I think of his name? Julia and John Gottman. They're an American psychologist. They're both American psychologists, and they have focused their work on marriage stability through relationship analysis. Okay, there, I read it. But they would totally argue as well that to build a strong and successful marriage, you have to be the best of friends. And I really feel like that's something that Willie and I have going for us. And one of the ways that we have built this very strong friendship is I am open and honest about the flaws and the issues that I bring into the marriage. And you guys hear me say that over and over and over again. And it's true. I trust Willie. Don't get me wrong. There are times he does stuff and it's just like, oh my God, really? Really? Like, I don't know if you guys watched that recent reel, but like, for real, legit, Willie had us driving with really bad brakes from home to Tahoe and then back from Tahoe to home. And he's like, oh, I'm not hearing the squeaky sound. And then on our way back from Tahoe, he's like, oh, shoot. Wait a minute. That's like metal to metal. And I'm like, I know. There are times like that where it's just like, dude, really? Sorry, I got off on a tangent. But yeah, there are times where, yeah, we're not on the same page at all. But I'm still able to go back to, he is my best friend. And although I might be pissed that he didn't listen to me the first, second, or third time when I told him that there was a squeaky noise, and he should get the trick service. Although, I mean, I'm not bad. I'm not still bad. But ultimately, I'm able to go ahead, and when we're in it, and when my husband's driving and switching gears from like drive to L1, I think it was, I don't have to constantly remind him that he messed up. I don't have to constantly remind him because I know that he has good intentions. And that's what helps build up that friendship. And I give you guys that example because I want you to think about the time when you've asked your husband to do something and then he ignored it or he just didn't do it. And then you're sitting there in traffic on an incline, hoping and praying you do not hit the car in front of you because your brakes went out. But what is the emotion that comes up for you? What are the thoughts that come up for you? For me, it's like, dude, unbelievable. I can't believe we're here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You should have just listened to me. If you would have listened to me, we wouldn't be in this predicament. If you would have listened to me, I wouldn't be praying for my life and my kids' lives right now. Like, I wouldn't be doing that because you would have listened and it would have been fixed and we would have been driving home safely. Right? Those are all the thoughts that come up for you. But those thoughts are also the reason why you might not be connecting with your partner. And you might not be showing up as his best friend. Instead, you might be showing up as his mother. And I hate to give it to you guys like that. I hate to be so much in your face with it. But let's just be honest. It's the truth. It is the truth. You probably are guilty of holding things against him. And one of the primary reasons why you might be guilty of that is because you don't know how to self-regulate. You don't know how to challenge those emotions. Maybe you're not even showing up as his best friend. Which leads me to the second secret, communication. Communication is said to be the foundation of any successful relationship. Again, I would argue different. Friendship is. But communication is essential. It's important to communicate openly and honestly with your partner. Share your thoughts, feelings, and concerns with each other. Listen to each other and try to understand each other's perspective. Now, if you're positioning your partner as the enemy and you're constantly looking at all of the things he's failed at or all of the things he's neglected, communication can be extremely difficult because you don't trust him, because you don't believe that he has your best interest in mind. You might be swayed to go ahead and keep things from him. Why have a conversation? He's not going to listen anyway. And so do you see why communication isn't necessarily the foundation of a successful marriage? It's not. You guys can be communicating all day. But if that friendship is not intact, if that friendship is not worked on and developed, you guys will be communicating. But you will be communicating with no substance. And that's what we really want. Which brings me to the third secret for a successful marriage. Respect each other. Respect is essential in any relationship. It's important to respect each other's opinions, beliefs, and values, treating each other with kindness, compassion, and empathy. But Veronica, I do all of these things. He doesn't do the same thing. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you, in what ways do you respect yourself? What boundaries have you set in the relationship? Well, wait a minute. I have to set boundaries? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Absolutely, you have to set boundaries. Why haven't you set them? Oh, there might be a lack of respect for yourself. Hence the reason why there's no boundaries set. I'll get a lot of women that'll say, well, wait a minute, Veronica, he crosses the boundaries. Well, how can he cross the boundaries if you respect them? If you set them and respect them, he can't cross them. There are consequences if boundaries are crossed. What are your consequences? And are you enforcing it? Respect is huge. Most of the time where I see a lot of couples fail is contempt will show up in the relationship. What do I mean by contempt? Contempt being where one might position themselves higher than the other. One might feel that they are of greater importance or do more or have more education or have more experience or have more authority or have more financial superiority over the other. And that's where a lot of marriages fail, is when that contempt has built up, because along with that comes resentment, and respect goes out of the window. And so I want you guys, as I'm saying these things, so the first one was friendship. Second one was communication. Third, respect. I want you to grab a pen and paper right now. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Grab a pen and paper. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down, how are you showing up as a best friend? How are you showing up as a best friend? Are you open and honest? Are you fun? Are you allowing yourself to show up in the relationship? How are you showing up? Go ahead and write it down. Now let's go to communication. What struggles come up for you with regards to communication? Do you find yourself fumbling over with words? Do you find it difficult to go ahead and communicate what you're experiencing? Do you struggle with being open and honest? Or are you afraid? Where are you at? The next step is with respect. How have you lost respect for your partner? Yeah, I'm calling you out. How have you lost respect for your partner? How have you stopped respecting him? How might you have been guilty of being contemptuous? How have you positioned yourself higher than your partner? Go ahead and write it down. And I'm not saying these things to go ahead and place the blame on you. That's not what this is about. And if you guys know me, you know I'm not about pointing the finger at one person. This is both of your faults. Both of you guys have contributed to this. And so I want you guys to identify how and why. The next step, the next secret, is keep the romance alive. Romance is an important part of any successful marriage. Keep the spark alive by doing things that you both enjoy. Surprise each other with small gestures of love and appreciation. How are you keeping the romance alive? The minute you try and tell me, Veronica, I am busy, I don't have time to go ahead and keep the romance alive, I'm going to call bullshit. Again, I'm going to ask you, how are you keeping the romance alive? Go ahead and write it down. And if you can't think of things, I want you to just make them up right now. I want you to think about how you would like for the relationship to look. Like, what things would you like to do? But Veronica, he wouldn't participate. Okay, just take a pause from that for a minute. In what ways would you like to show up? What would you like it to look like? Ladies, it's time for a masterclass, and I want to personally invite you. This is a free class, and I'm offering it live on 3 different days to accommodate everyone's schedule. I just don't want anyone to miss out on this amazing offer. I see a lot of women get stuck in this loophole of attempting to be everything to everyone and spin all of these plates. Most of them are left feeling resentful, overwhelmed, and frustrated. They know they want something better, but they just don't know how to get it or even what it is. So I'm hosting a masterclass for women just like you. In this masterclass, you'll learn how to balance your own needs and family responsibilities without the guilt, how to shift your mindset so you're not so reactive, and how to check in and connect with your husband. If you're ready for change, then join me in my masterclass where I teach you how to increase connection and conversations with your husband. Go to www.empoweredandunapologetic.com/masterclass. Looking forward to seeing you there. All right, so now that you have listed a minimum of about 4 things about how you can keep the romance alive, we're going to go to the next step, which I'm going to tell you right now is a bit difficult. Learn to forgive. Forgiveness is crucial. It's a crucial part of any relationship. Learn to forgive each other's mistakes and move forward. Holding grudges can lead to resentment and can damage your relationship in so many ways. One of the ways resentment can damage a relationship is when we start to keep score. We might go ahead and hold whatever issues, whatever arguments against our partner, and we might carry that resentment, refusing to forgive, refusing to move forward, refusing to problem solve or stay out of gridlock. And so when you're willing to learn to forgive, this adds a bonus to the relationship because we don't feel like we're serving this jail time that we're never going to meet, right? This sentence that we're never going to meet. Shit from the past isn't always being brought up. So being able to go ahead and forgive, and I understand that forgiveness, it can be difficult, especially when there's so many emotions involved. I'm going to challenge you to do it anyway. And if you struggle with that, that is okay. This is where I'm going to help you. But I still want you to really, really look at in what ways or what things am I willing to forgive? And this is where I'm going to ask you again to go ahead and list them. let's go minimum of 4 things you're willing to forgive. And it doesn't have to be anything like so big. These can be small items. Like, where are you at? What's your emotional attachment to them? And what things right now are you willing to go ahead and forgive so that you can move forward? And again, I'm not asking you to just forgive everything and like compromise yourself. I would never ask you to do that. But I want you to think about like, what are things in our life, in our relationship, am I willing to go ahead and forgive? Is it the fact that my husband, didn't listen to me about, getting the truck serviced? Is that something I'm willing to forgive? Yeah. He ended up doing it the next day, and it wasn't when I wanted it to be done, but it was done. Is that something I can go ahead and let go and accept? And if it's not, that's okay. Let's move on to something else. But I want you to really think about things, issues that you can forgive. And then the last step, work as a team. Marriage is a partnership. Work together as a team to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. Support each other through thick and thin. Again, I'm not saying any of these secrets are easy. I know it requires a lot of work. And if you find yourself in this position where you're really struggling, okay, let's go ahead and get some work done. If you haven't already signed up for the masterclass, the free masterclass that I'm offering, do it now. Do it now. I had went ahead and mentioned it in the ad, but I'll go ahead and mention it again. All you got to do is go to veronicacisneros.org/masterclass. Go ahead and pick a time that works for you. Pick a day that works for you. And then I will see you live. Yes, I will see you live. And I will be teaching you some of these skills. Make sure to have a pen and paper because you're definitely going to want to take notes. In conclusion, these are just a few secrets of a successful marriage. Remember, every relationship is unique, and what works for one couple may not work for another. The key is to keep an open mind, communicate with each other, and work together to build a strong and successful relationship. If you find yourself struggling, that is okay. It's nothing against you. You're not doing anything wrong. These are skills, remember, that we haven't been taught. Nobody sat us down and really taught us how to go ahead and have a successful marriage. I mean, if we look at our parents' relationships, for the most part, they were dysfunctional. They were unhealthy. We're going to go ahead and start to do things to change that. But in order for us to change that, we have to identify that there is a problem. And although it might not be where you're on the path to divorce, there is something that needs to change. And you could be a huge part of the change. I want you to take it easy on yourself. Go ahead and write these things out and share them. Share them with your partner. And if you struggle with sharing them with your partner, share them with a friend. Have your friend go ahead and share this link with one of your friends and have them listen to this podcast episode. And then just ask them, which ones do they have the most difficulty with? Are these a breeze? If not, which ones do they struggle with? But just so you have that accountability partner, and you guys could do this together. I don't want you to judge or compare. Instead, learn from one another. Then bring it to your partner. Again, this is without judgment, without criticism. This is for you guys to build that relationship together, to grow and strengthen. That's the end goal, right? For more tips like this, again, I want to personally invite you to join me for my free masterclass. I had just recently celebrated a birthday. So by the time this launches, it will be 2 weeks ago. And my goal is to go ahead and serve as many couples as possible. And I was actually on a live, and it was a live when I came up with this idea. And I was asking, well, wait a minute, how many people do you think we can actually serve? And there were quite a few of you that was like, let's try for 1,000. And then it went to 2,000, and then went to 5,000. And then somebody just straight up said 10,000. It's like, holy moly, my heart dropped when I seen that number. And at the same time as it dropped, there was like this level of excitement. Could you imagine saving 10,000 marriages by providing them with skills? Like, that is a huge, huge blessing. And so, again, I'm going to ask for your help. If you found this podcast educational and you want to go and take it that extra step, join me for that masterclass and invite your friends. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. Bye for now. Let's be honest. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. 5 things that are killing your marriage, tips from a therapist. Find out if you are making these marriage mistakes. Ladies, this guide is 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy to use strategies to apply right away. You all know I'm a huge advocate for couples. I am on a mission to help you and your partner experience stress-free living. With this free guide, we are setting our marriages up for success. But it starts with you. You will find this free guide here in the show notes or go to www.veronicacisneros.org. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.
Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out. Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today. I'm Madeline, and I'm the host of the Happiest Sober podcast. I got sober in my 20s after a decade of gray area drinking, and the greatest plot twist of all time was realizing that alcohol, the thing that I thought made my life the most happy and fun and exciting, was actually the exact thing preventing me from living my happiest and best life. My mom is 40 years sober, and she joins me on my podcast very often. I like to call her my part-time co-host, and I also bring you solo episodes where I share my top tips, tricks, and mindset shifts in sobriety, and lots of how-tos for navigating all the things sober, from weddings to parties to holidays to bachelorette parties to trips. I'm also joined by so many guests who come on and share their sober stories, and they're all so inspiring. I'm here to show you that life doesn't end when you quit drinking. In fact, it's very much the opposite. And no matter what your relationship was with alcohol, life can be the absolute happiest when you're sober. New episodes come out every Tuesday. You can listen to Happiest Sober podcast wherever you get your podcasts.